And I'd love to go into the shamanic tradition first because I'm a little bit more aware of Raji's and Prakash's perspective on this. What is the point of having an experience of I that is that fractal of oneness in having an I in the multiplicity of things? So, the I am my profession, I am my emotions, I am this and I am that. From the shamanic tradition, what is the story or the history of why that gets created in the first place? Why is that distinction existent? And I'd love to have your thoughts on that, Shaman Sandra.
Okay. Well, let's look at it this way. I was listening to so much of the wonderful commentary that was being shared, but I want to say it's closely related to the first principle that was shared back in 1637 by René Descartes. I think, therefore I am. But I propose I am, therefore I think. And if we use that concept as our pouncing point for discussion, perhaps then you can understand my perspective on the shamanic realm because I understand we just have been fractalized. There is no understanding source as it's been relayed before because it's undiscernible. It's beyond our comprehension. It's infinite. It is all that there is and ever will be and ever was. There is no beginning, there is no end, and everything is being experienced now. Time does not even exist. So the past, the present, and the future are actually happening simultaneously. So if you think of it like this, if we're outside of the things that we use to tell time, outside of our solar system, the mind is just there. It just is. And all that is around that mind is eternity. So that's why I focus on I am, therefore I think. And I understand I am a fractal of source. I am that representation. I am a facet. So, with that being said, a facet, I have free will to experience and to think and to explore and to discover and to say yes and to say no and to adapt and to change. And in me doing all of this as an individual, independent, isolate portion of source, I'm bringing fruitfulness, I'm bringing experience to the all that is. And while I am doing this, many others are doing this as well. And it continues, there is no end to it. That is why it cannot fully be understood or fully explained or fully comprehended. And let's not forget, we're only doing this from this perspective, from this realm. We as Homo sapiens sapiens sometimes lose a perspective of the entirety of the universe, the galaxy, the cosmos. And that's the realms that the shamanic journey takes place in. And so you can't help but to understand the grandeur of all of it when you do travel within the mind, within those realms, and you see and experience, and you have downloads and you have explorations and understandings poured into you beyond anything that you could comprehend. And you start having this knowingness that you, within your own ability, could not have otherwise been able to understand. There's something grander than you. So I'm not sure if that really explained the shamanic portion of it, but that's what I have to offer.
It brings the bigger picture within it, but it definitely doesn't, at least for me at the moment, doesn't provide me in an approximation. I can appreciate the idea that we cannot fully comprehend it. Uh, but I think with the mind, at least if we hit its boundary, we can make an approximation of it. And that's what I was looking for is, so I understand this notion of facet, being that oneness get fractalized, and as individuals, we are that fractal, that facet. And part of the shamanic journey is to recognize there's that bigger picture, the bigger oneness, where you brought that these individualized facets is bring fruitfulness back to that oneness as individual experiences and other things within that. My point is that facet forgets that it is a part of oneness. So in the identification, when we said that, I am my profession, I'm a IT consultant, I am a coach, I am this, I'm a lawyer, I am a scientist, um, we lose track of that. It seems like we forget that, and then this journey that we go, for those who chooses to embark on that, at one point, that's his journey to go back to recognize that connection, that relationship with that oneness. And so and that is more what I'm trying to understand and appreciate out of that is from that shamanic perspective, another way to say it, why do we forget that we were one in the first place?
Oh, beautiful. I'm glad you asked that because actually that's understanding the veil of forgetfulness, which is there to be intact to respect the integrity of the game. If you understood that you did this as in a series of experiences that you're experiencing right now, you did it at least 100 times and you still haven't got it quite right. Maybe you've improved, maybe you've ascended in some aspects or another. I think you'd be tired at the onset. The veil of forgetfulness is in place intentionally so that when we incarnate, we do have to navigate, we do have to learn, we do have to uh, rely on those things that we choose to anchor into our belief systems. So, yes, it's very intentional that we forget so that we can remember. That's what this is all about, to forget so that you can remember. And what's really interesting is that spirits don't seem to have that question. On the other side of the veil, they know. It's when you incarnate into the flesh that you actually forget.
So the view of forgiveness that we get because we incarnate, or that we experience when we incarnate, is a way that most like it's a way for us to not get bored by what we're trying to do as we come back again and again. So thank you for that.
No, I wouldn't simplify it down to such a mute point to say get bored. If that's what you got from what I said it's not really serving the point. It's more or less so that you can understand that we do have all of eternity to get things right. Let's look at it that way. And all of eternity, I mean, really take that in. Much of humanity is consumed with feeling that we have to get everything in within our current incarnation. Let's say if you're lucky, 80, 90, 100 years or so, and that's it. They feel that that's it. It's your one shot. But if we're created in the image of the I am, which is eternal and infinite, we have infinite amounts of time and opportunity to do, to explore, and to learn. So that's yeah, that's the point that I was trying to make as far as the veil of forgetfulness.
Then thank you for that clarification to add in detail upon that.